What is up, ladies and gentlemen? And I am so sorry I have not been able to make any type of content other than making shorts for the past few weeks. But apparently, I've been getting a lot of really amazing viewership on those, and I greatly appreciate everything what I've been doing, and I greatly appreciate for everyone liking my stuff. But today, we are going to be doing something entirely different than my initial content here on my channel. What I want to put into here, for the most part, I really think that Mirage is definitely one of my favorite games of this year, even though that it is a prequel to that of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But however, what I truly think about this game in general, I think it's a fantastic game. It definitely has its place in the Assassin's Creed universe, and for the most part, I really think Assassin's Creed Mirage is a good telling of a story of a young street thief known as Basim to becoming a master assassin in the end. So, to much further ado, we're going to dive right into this. What I really want to talk about too, especially when it comes to Assassin's Creed Mirage, other than from Assassin's Creed Origins or Odyssey or Valhalla, I really think that when it comes to Assassin's Creed Jade, which is going to be coming out next year, Assassin's Creed Red, coming out next year, I really think that that game is going to be it's going to still have some RPG elements and mechanics in that game. However, from the most part, I really think that from continuing on after that, we are going to get non-linear story-driven games, much like from what Mirage does. And I really think that's a good way of doing it, me personally, because as an Assassin's Creed fan and an avid gamer on these titles from the past years and up to now, I really think that Mirage is not just Mirage, but in general, when it comes to the role-playing aspects and elements and mechanics in Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, I'm going to say this right now. I hate to say this, but they need to go. They really, really do. And the reason why I say this is because I think that we have had enough role-playing mechanics and elements within the Assassin's Creeds when it came to Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. And I really do think that because of the fact that, they did work for the most part. But what made the RPG gameplay mechanics and the elements within those three games that we've had in the past few years, they did work. But as far as I'm concerned, I think that when it comes to Assassin's Creed Red, that's going to be coming out next year, maybe in the first or the second part of the fiscal year of 2024, I really think that it's a really good idea that they finally are going to branch out of that and make better Assassin's Creed games as a main focal point when it comes to making a non-linear story from what Assassin's Creed Mirage did. And that's, like I said, that is my own personal preference and opinion. And so it's like, I know that this might be of a wrong idea or maybe a wrong preference or opinion, but that's what it really all boils down to for me, because I really think, coming off from Assassin's Creed Valhalla, coming off from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and even Origins, which I absolutely loved. I loved Origins even more so than I did from what Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla did. I mean, I did love those games, but Valhalla and Odyssey were just way too open world. And Origins was like that though too, of course. But what I loved about Origins, everything about that game felt more organic. And that's why I'm saying it's like when it comes to these role-playing mechanic and elements of the combat and vice versa within Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla, it did work for its time. But like I said, that's where I finally believe that the role-playing gameplay mechanics and the elements per se really need to go. I know I'm going back to this and repeating it, so I'm sorry. But this is really truly how I feel. I really think that when it comes to the role-playing gameplay mechanics or its elements within the past three titles that we've had for the past few years, it's just that I really wish that they would not have gone that way, even though that they wanted to do it because they want to keep the franchise fresh to a certain degree. But I just really think that it was not as good as a lot of people wanted it to be, and I actually thoroughly believe that, in my personal opinion. But overall, I just think when it comes to, like I said, even Origins or Odyssey and Valhalla, I think they did a really good move here by not just making another Assassin's Creed like Mirage, gaining so much gameplay value when it comes to its linear open world. It is a linear, more sensical, somewhat open world in a way, but it's more intricately well designed, and that's what I'm trying to get to, is that I really think when it came to Mirage, it's a game to where I think it did a lot of things right, in my personal opinion. And not just because of its gameplay mechanics, like with the sword and being able to parry with your dagger. I actually did like that element because, like I previously mentioned it in a video that I did not too long ago, I think it was about a week or two ago, and Basim is that agile assassin. He is not meant to be that Conan the fucking barbarian, much like in Valhalla. And that's where I feel like that when it came to Mirage as a whole, it just did a lot of things that I really wanted it to do. And I think it exceeded it perfectly, in my personal opinion, because, not just because of the fact that the combat focus it's not just because it's dumbed down, it's just that it's not the main focus of Mirage. That's one thing I really thoroughly appreciated about this game. And what I mostly appreciate about Mirage as a whole, too, as well, is in fact that it's more stealth-oriented focused. Much like from what the Ezio trilogy did, or like Assassin's Creed 1 back in 2007. But that's what I'm saying, is that Mirage just harkens back to some of that old school element. And one thing I will say about Mirage, though, too, I think one thing in particular I would really like to see in more future games as well, I would say exclude there is some RPG elements within Mirage, and that's one thing I would really greatly like to say here, is the gear sets that you get in this game. And that's one thing that I really think that they should thoroughly eliminate as well. As much as I really enjoyed, Origins with its RPG gameplay and mechanic and elements of RPG elements within those games, and Odyssey and Valhalla. But that's where Mirage, what I was saying, Mirage still has some of that RPG elements intact when it comes to finding gear and swords and daggers. Because there are some role-playing mechanics. There are some role-playing elements, not mechanics, but there are elements. There's a difference between when it comes to role-playing mechanics, when it comes to when you play like turn-based games like Final Fantasy VII back in the day on PlayStation 1, that had a lot of deep role-playing mechanics in that game. It was not just because of its combat, it was the fact that it was turn-based. But that's why I'm saying Assassin's Creed, Odyssey, Valhalla, and Origins, and even Mirage, they have some role-playing gameplay gameplay mechanics, but they do have some role-playing elements, because there was gear involved, there was weapons involved, and there was how to be able to upgrade certain types of items, of how much you're going to be using more than you want to. And that's where I was saying that's where the role-playing elements come into play here. When it comes to Mirage, when it comes to Odyssey, when it comes to Valhalla, and when it comes to Origins. But it's like I said before, I am sorry that I'm repeating myself again. I really think that they really need to eliminate these role-playing elements and some of the mechanics of it. They need to eliminate it 100%. After when Assassin's Creed Red comes out next year, and I just really think that future Assassin's Creed titles would be a lot better because of it. And I'm sure they'll probably get some flack out of this, but I really don't think I will, to be quite honest with you, is because I think a lot of people really grew stagnant. Even the fans specifically, a lot of fans grew stagnant when it came to after playing Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla, and that's where I think that I believe that I think it's a good, like I said, it is a strong and good idea that they finally are going to actually eliminate the role playing elements within an Assassin's Creed titles in the not too distant future, because, like I said, it just doesn't work anymore. I mean, I know a lot of people might think that, well, it kind of does work, but it really doesn't, though. Or does it? That's the most obvious question. And so that's why I'm saying it's like, I really think, not just because of Mirage or what the previous titles that we've had, it's just that I just think that it would be we would be in a much better place when it comes to the Assassin's Creed universe or the games themselves. And knowing that, we don't need these RPG elements within these games anymore. We really don't. It's like I said, I don't want to have role-playing elements in future Assassin's Creed titles. And I know that Assassin's Creed Red is going to have some of that back. And I guess it's to be expected, because apparently they are saying that it's going to be the last Assassin's Creed game that are going to entail some more role-playing elements than ever before, for what I understand from Odyssey and Valhalla and Origins. But I'm just like, that's where I'm feeling that it's getting a little stale. It's getting a little bit boring. And even though that I am excited for Assassin's Creed Red, but even still, it's just like, do I really want it, though? Because it's like, I know it's going to be in a popular era. It's going to be in feudal Japan or China. I think it's one of the two. But either or, it's just like I said, do I really want it, though? I mean, not the era or the setting that the game is going to be taking place in. It's just that it's the RPG thing that just really kind of irks me. It kind of sticks in my craw. Because it's like, like I said, I don't understand why why Ubisoft is trying to lean more on the role-playing side. Like I said, it just doesn't work like it normally did. It just doesn't work anymore, because people don't want RPG elements in Assassin's Creed. I specifically don't want it, and that's what I was saying with Mirage, especially. Finding the gear set that you're gonna get, upgrading it. That is role-playing elements. It's the same thing with like upgrading your daggers or upgrading your swords. That is role-playing elements. But that does not make an Assassin's Creed a pure RPG. There's a difference.
Bid for it at the auction.
And I don't understand why people are saying, well, then I don't understand why people think that, there are no RPG elements or mechanics in an Assassin's Creed game, much like Mirage or much like Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla. But, you got to think of it that it does have some role-playing stuff in it. I just think that some people out there can be somewhat maybe ignorant or maybe be a little hypocritical. But that's what I'm saying, though. It's like, I really think that future titles for Assassin's Creed, I know I'm going back to this, and this might not be the most popular video that I'm making, but I don't care. I'm putting my own 2 cents. And I really just think that it would be a much better that we just don't have any kind of role-playing gameplay mechanics or elements within Assassin's Creed, because like I said, they just don't belong. Like, I know I'm going back to this, and I keep on repeating myself, but I'm sorry. It's like, this is kind of a little bit of a rant video. And I really think that, like I said, I think that some people out there might stitch this out of context and give me so much negative remarks or compliments or whatever. And it's like I'm all for it. If that's what you want to do, go for it. I don't care. All I'm saying is that, as an AC fan, since from the first one back in 2007 and up what we have now, it's changed. But what I love about Mirage is that it does a lot of things that I expected it to be, and it exceeded those expectations. It's not the combat that I don't mind the combat. The combat is actually a little challenging. I do like a good challenge when it comes to Assassin's Creed. And I think Mirage did that. But like I said before, what Mirage does significantly better than from Odyssey and Valhalla, or maybe a little bit of Origins, is the stealth focus. The stealth-oriented focus was the main focal point of this game. And it's amazing. I love the fact that they were able to implement more stealth involved, because that's what the first one did. And that's what the Ezio trilogy did as well. And I love that. And so all I can say is this. With the viewership that I've been getting, with the subs that I've been getting, I'm up to 147 now. And I previously mentioned before in my other videos that I have made in the past few weeks or few months, I'm not doing this for profit. I'm not doing this to make money. You know, same thing as profit. So I'm doing this to have fun. And then I'm going to go back to this one more time. I do highly recommend playing Mirage. It's a great game. It's one of my favorite games of this year, other than I am currently playing Spider-Man 2. And I will greatly say, I thank you all for having such a great time watching my videos. And you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Peace.